Let me make this absolutely and abundantly clear. I am not here to argue with anybody the status of Sean Kingston's mother as far as her immigration status goes. Is she a green card holder? Is she a citizen? That's not what I'm here to argue. If you've been paying attention to our immigration update videos, this is why it's super important to pay attention to these videos. Under the Donald Trump administration, the list for which you can be deported if you are a green card holder, and if you are a citizen, the list from which you can be denaturalized, which is taking away of your citizenship, stripped of your citizenship and sent back to your home country. That list has gotten significantly longer with all kinds of stuff on that list that you were never getting deported for or your citizen stripped from you before. Pay attention. Things have changed. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. If you've never been here before, click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified each time a new video is uploaded here on SouFLoTV. First of all, let me say that this is an unfortunate situation. I know a lot of people are going to sit on their moral high horse on social media because this is where we're at, and social media allows everybody to hide behind the scenes and throw rocks, okay? I've said this before in my past videos. I don't like to kick people when they're down. Yes, I understand that what they did was wrong, and you did the crime, and now it's time to do the time. I get it, but it's not my place to kick somebody while they're down doing their time. The system is going to do that just fine. And in this case, with Sean Kingston's mother, damn, the system is going in. Let the chips fall where they may. All Hip Hop posted yesterday, Sean Kingston's mom to be kicked out of the United States of America, to be deported. And she is begging the judge for a lighter prison sentence. First of all, before I get into the information about her, following from where we left off, following her case, just remember that the judge did not like her at all. The judge made sure that as soon as the guilty verdict came down in their case, that the mother was arrested and taken into custody immediately, and the judge made it clear why he did that. Because she got up to speak, she said some stuff in the courtroom that made the judge believe that she was dodging responsibility, that she was trying to minimize her role in this whole thing, and that she was actually at the center of all of this. The judge probably looked at her like, you know what? If it wasn't for you facilitating all this, you could have steered your son in the right direction. But instead, you are the main fraudster. And now you have your son caught up in this BS. And I'm going to punish you for this because you not only have done this before, this is on your record, but here you are now with your son involved, facing prison time as well, and showing no remorse, trying to act as if you had nothing to do with this. May I remind y'all that Sean Kingston's mother's attorney said in court that, Your Honor, my client is not a scammer. She is more like a mother that was trying to protect her son because she was scared that all these people who they so-called scam were actually using Sean and would have taken advantage of him. So she was trying to leverage that by being involved to try to look out for him. The judge didn't want to hear that bullshit. The judge did not want to hear it. And that's why the judge was like, okay, so she's not taking any responsibility. Her lawyer told the judge that this should not even be a case of fraud. This should be a case of a woman looking out for her son. The judge said, take her ass into custody right away and have her stay there until I'm ready to sentence her. Now, you think that judge is going to come back on sentencing day feeling any different? Man, listen, she's facing a lot of time, y'all. A lot of time. Let's get into the details of what recently transpired according to her immigration situation and what that's looking like. So, Janice Turner has requested mercy from a federal judge ahead of her August sentencing, hoping to avoid decades in prison. And for those of y'all who are saying this does not require decades in prison and you can't get decades in prison for this, I recently posted a video of a young lady in the state of Florida, right where Sean and his mother are tried and found guilty. They sentenced this woman to time as if she murdered a couple of people. So it's not a wonder. And it was about some sunglasses. That was her thing. She stole designer sunglasses and she sold them back at a retail price or a smaller price to people. And she eventually got caught. And because this wasn't her first time doing it, the judge sentenced her, I believe, to like 20-something years behind bars. Now, people are saying, oh, it's because she's black. Oh, it's because, listen, the fact of the matter is that the precedence has been set. So we know for sure that this could very well happen. Sean Kingston's mom not only sat there and collected the TV or collected the bed or missed the phone calls, she was a very intricate part of this. So Janice Turner pleaded with the federal judge for mercy as she awaits her sentencing in her wire fraud conviction that could send her to prison for decades. She is 62 years old. At 62 years old, you don't want to hear 10 years in prison. The 62-year-old mother of Sean Kingston asked the courts for compassion in a formal motion that was filed ahead of her sentencing, and her sentencing date is set on August 28th of 2025. She was convicted in March of 2025. She was found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud. She now faces up to 20 years on each count. We did not leave school that long ago, but 20 times 4 is easy mathematics for everybody. 4 counts guilty on each count, 20 years per piece. That's 100 years. Now, I've done videos where I've said, listen, the judge is not going to give her no 100 years, okay? Not on a fraud charge. However, the judge can give her significant amount of years on this charge. She might not get 100 years, but 10, 15, 20, 25, that is a lot of years. Also, in my mind, I'm thinking 25 years equals a life sentence. I don't think they're going to put her in prison on a life sentence for fraud, but she stands to get significant amount of years behind bars. I don't know. Maybe the judge will have a change of heart at the last minute, but I doubt it. Prosecutors claimed that she helped to orchestrate this elaborate abuse scheme, forged financial transactions, and her son's celebrity status to illegally acquire over $1 million worth of high-end merchandise, including luxury vehicles, electronics, and jewelry. That's to include the Cadillac Escalade, the electronics, the big old television, and the expensive jewelry. Turner is asking for no more than 30 months behind bars. I've never seen this work before. I've never seen somebody commit a crime, get found guilty, and then you get to ask the judge, hear what I'm saying. Just give me 30 months, Judge, when you're facing decades. Just give me 30 months, Judge. That would do the trick. And the judge actually listens to you. Turner is asking for no more than 30 months behind bars. That means she'll be in there like 2.5 years, right? Citing her poor health, her limited criminal background, and her lack of personal profit from the fraud scheme. She's basically saying, look, I didn't get rich off of this. I didn't profit financially from this. My health is fading, and I'm not a criminal, so to speak, as in you have nothing else that I've done except for this. So please be lenient. Her attorneys have argued that the long-term penalty that she faces now is extremely excessive, given the circumstances. A sentence of 30 months or less will serve the purpose of sentencing by satisfying the need for deterrence. In other words, the 30 months, if they give her 30 months, that will make her want to never do it again. This is what the filing states. And it also says in the paperwork, please keep in mind that this wasn't a scheme for money. This wasn't a scheme where they were getting rich. It wasn't like they would defraud the dealers out of a $150,000 Escalade, Cadillac Escalade, and then sell it back for $90,000 and get the money cash. It wasn't like they would defraud the jeweler out of $500,000 worth of diamond-encrusted chain and Rolex and whatever, and then sell it back and get $250,000 cash. They weren't making any money from any of this. I don't think the judge is going to care. So during the trial, the judge actually labeled her as the quote-unquote fixer and also the quote-unquote nerve center of the operation. Y'all know what the nerve center means? It means you're the one that facilitates everything, which involves convincing these retailers to release goods without payment. So the scheme went like this. According to prosecution, Sean Kingston would go out there as a well-known entertainer with his "You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work." And he would tell people, look, I did that song long ago. It's got 1 billion and something views on YouTube. It's a song that I've toured the world with. I've done songs with Justin Bieber and many other famous people who I'm friends with. And I can get them to come and buy stuff from your store. I can get them to come buy a Cadillac Escalade, buy jewelry, buy televisions that are big as the one I'm about to take from you, blah, blah, blah. And he would do that. And based on that, these retailers would then look at Sean Kingston and say, you know what? I've seen the videos. He is a legitimate star. Some of them knew or know who he is. So they're like, he's good for it. So if the item costs like $100,000, they said that Sean would put down $10,000, $20,000, and the items would be shipped and delivered to his house. This is where his mama came in. His mama's duty now was to make sure that the delivery was accepted and installed, like the television. It's not a simple television. The television needed to be installed and set up so it's working properly. All the stuff is delivered, and she is the one that's collecting them, right? Sean goes out, he gets them, she collects them, makes sure they're secured, and then she's the one that does the wiring. She's the one that makes up the false receipts. False receipts were made up. So The agreement over $100,000 item would be, okay, you paid your $10,000 down, we delivered it. We expect you to like name drop our business every now and then, get some of your celebrity partners to come over here and shop from us. We don't see any of that happening. And you're not paying the $500 a month or the $1,000 a month that you're supposed to pay till we pay this thing off. You haven't paid in like 4, 5, 6, 7 months now. So we want our item back. Well, they would have the item locked in the house behind big gates. You saw where he was living. They couldn't get in to get the items until they got the sheriffs involved. Then the sheriffs did a raid on that mansion and took those items out of that house. So in the meantime, what the mom would do was she would call them to say, I don't know what you're talking about because we sent you the money. We wrote a check for the rest of the payments and we sent you the money in a lump sum. And we have our receipts that we wired that money to you. Well, that right there can get you a lot of time behind bars. She showed receipts, but the receipts were fabricated. So, just so everybody understands what it is she is going in for. Now, it gets even more twisted for Sean Kingston's mom, Miss Turner. Sean Kingston himself, he did not testify in his own defense. The judge actually said, I'm glad you didn't get up and say anything like your mom did. And the reason why he had the mom held right after the sentence was read as guilty was because the fact that she got up and said something and the things that she said. Turner, the mother, however, she admitted to making fake wire transfers, which is what I just described to you. So both of them were found guilty, but Turner's consequences, those stretch beyond prison. For those of you who are wondering where Sean Kingston was born in the United States of America. He's a Miami boy, okay? So he is 100% born and raised in the Sunshine State of Florida. He's not going anywhere. He's going to do his time and get out and be here. However, his mama, on the other hand, after her prison sentence, Miss Turner is set to be deported to Jamaica, losing her U.S. residency and creating what her defense team describes as a permanent separation from her family. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking, wait, she been in the U.S. all them years, she not a citizen? Listen, citizen is not just given away like that. There are a lot of people who have been here 30, 40 years and they're not citizens. For instance, if you came here as a green card holder, and then you committed a crime while being a green card holder, they might have allowed you to serve time, like a year in prison maybe, or whatever the case may be, on probation, without deporting you before. But when you went to go renew, or when you went to go adjust your status, say you want to go from green card holder to citizenship, they would reject that. And they would keep you as a green card holder for years to come. So she could very well be one of those people, right? Because she has done time before in the United States of America in prison for the same fraud thing. Maybe because of that, they did not adjust her status over the years when she applied for an adjustment to her status. You're still allowed to continue to live here and work here and pay your taxes here, but you will remain a permanent resident. We won't give you citizenship status. You haven't proven to us, demonstrated to us that you can be a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. So you will stay as a green card holder, right? Now, back to what I said at the beginning of this video. If you've been watching our immigration up-to-date videos, you will know that under the Trump administration, the list for what you can be deported for as a green card holder, that list has gotten significantly longer. It could be jaywalking. It could be littering outside, throwing your garbage from your car onto the streets, or it can be there are just a lot of things that people were not getting deported for back from before this. When it comes to denaturalization, that is an agenda that is being pushed by the Trump administration. The Department of Justice was given specific instructions to prioritize, which means prioritize for all of us means to put at the front of the line denaturalization. Denaturalization meaning if you are a citizen, then you will be stripped of your citizenship. That means that passport that you have will be taken away. That means you can no longer tell people that you're a citizen of the United States of America. You will not be, and you will also be placed in deportation. According to what we're hearing now, Sean Kingston's mom is being readied. Her paperwork, her packet, is being readied for her deportation by ICE already. So, after her prison sentence, she is set to be deported to Jamaica, where she will lose her U.S. residency, creating what her defense team calls a permanent separation from her family. Now, given those stakes, Turner is requesting now to be placed in a federal facility that is close to Miami as possible to allow for her family to visit her while she is doing her time, so that she is not separated from her family way up the road. And then, because the prison system is funny. You get arrested in Miami, and next thing you know, you're doing time in North Carolina. Next thing you know, you're doing time in New York. Next thing you know, you're doing time. They ship you where there is space. So she is requesting, given these unique circumstances, please allow me to do my time close to home where my family members can gather and we can put things in order and I can at least get to see them. Because after I'm deported, I'll be separated from them permanently. The nearest women's prison is located in Tallahassee, and that's nearly 500 miles away. I've told people before who have never been to the state of Florida, or my Jamaican people who have never been to the United States of America. These states are huge. You can fit Jamaica as a country into the state of Florida a couple of times over. That's to show you. And that is one state. And the U.S. has 50. So, with that said, right, she's begging for leniency on the time that she gets to spend behind bars. Judge, please don't sentence me to decades. She's begging, please give me 30 months. That will definitely teach me a lesson. And since they're going to be deporting me, please don't send me way up the road where I can't see anybody and then I'm deported after I get out from there. I will not have seen my family in years. Please put me in a facility here in Miami so that I can see my family on visitations until I've done my time, because they're going to send me away from the U.S. anyways, and that will be a permanent separation from my family. That's a lot to be begging a judge that does not like you and made it clear that he does not like you from your case being tried in front of him. The letters were submitted on her behalf, and these letters portray her as a kind and service-driven woman who has helped many other people through her community work over the years. Mama Kinston, she is affectionately known as. The defense has leaned heavily into her age and into her declining health. They are hoping that this will influence the courts in their final decision. She will learn her fate when she returns to court July 23rd of 2025. Damn. All I can say is damn. I thought the sentencing was for August, but she will learn her fate come July 23rd of 2025. Now, this can go many ways. They can sentence her to a long time behind bars, and halfway through her sentence, she's deported. Or they can find her guilty, expedite her deportation, because that's what this new administration is doing. Remember, Donald Trump's administration is not too fond of keeping criminals once you are convicted in the United States of America. Don't forget, they just implemented that third country deportation stuff. That is to get criminals who are immigrants to serve their time on foreign soils where it's cheaper for Americans, American taxpayers, and the American government. It costs about $10,000 a year to house a criminal who is convicted in an institution in the U.S. If we put them, say, in somewhere in Africa, it could cost about $2,000 US a year. We would save $8,000. That's the logic that Donald Trump's administration is working on, or through, or with. So, as it sits right now, we know that she's heading to Jamaica. They're not going to send her to Eswatini or any other part of Africa or El Salvador. I know also that the Jamaican government would gladly take her back. However, that's not what she would want. She would definitely want to stay in the United States of America. But given the climate, the immigration climate, and how things are going now in the United States of America, with the list specifically saying on the list, fraud. Go and look at the list. The denaturalization list has added specifically committing fraud to include wire fraud, financial, telephone, bank. They did exactly what was on the list, okay? So denaturalization is what is coming next if she's a citizen. But I've heard through the grapevines over the years that she was not a citizen already. I don't know. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't know her personally. I don't know Sean personally, so I cannot speak to what people actually have going on behind the scenes. I'm sure people will be in these comment sections acting as if they know for a fact that she was a citizen, or they know for a fact that she was a green card holder and never a citizen. I am making no such claims. What I do know is what everybody else knows, is that she has lived in the United States of America for decades. And she has never had immigration issues until this point. So I'm telling you that the Donald Trump administration, even if she is a citizen, the crime that she committed and was convicted of is on the list for denaturalization. Again, let me close this video by saying this. I'm not kicking anybody when they're down, and I'm not rejoicing at anybody's downfall. If you want to do that, that's on you, okay? It's not me. That's not my style. I bring you the news, and I bring my reasoning to it, and you do what you want with the rest. Shout out to everybody tuning in, man. I wish Sean Kingston and his mama all the best. This too shall pass, but y'all are going to have to go through this storm. I hope everybody comes out a better person when it's all said and done. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes The Most High humbles you in order for you to listen, to get you back on track, to put you on your mission that you were chosen to do here. It is what it is. And our comments on these social media platforms will not change what this is. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.